Gigabyte isn't new to the mini PC market. In fact, they've been making their Brix units for quite a while, so you'd think they're doing pretty well, and well, actually, they kind of are. This is actually a really awesome HTPC or office type PC, and we're going to take a look at it in this video, so do stick around. Check out TechteamGB.co.uk for more awesome news, reviews and other stuff, including more information on this product and many more. Stick around for this awesome video. So just to make it clear, this is actually a bare bones unit, which means it doesn't come with an SSD or RAM, and that will be something you'll need to buy and install yourself, unless you go to one of the very specific people who do build these PCs. Now in terms of what comes in the box, you have a VESA mount to attach this to the back of a PC, the Brix itself and a power unit. You also get a DVD or CD with the drivers on it, but I feel like that's a little bit ironic. On the front you have a headphone jack as well as a USB 3.1 Type C port and a Type A port, and on the back you have some ventilation as well as two more USB 3 ports, Gigabit Ethernet, mini DisplayPort, HDMI, DC in and a Kensington lock. Either side you have passive ventilation for the bottom, and on the top you have active ventilation, so there's a small fan with a blower type design that I'll show you in just a second. In terms of specs, we've got an i7 6500U, and as said, because it's bare bones you have two SODIMM DDR4 slots and an M.2 slot as well. In terms of size, this thing's actually pretty small. It's very thin as well, 37mm and obviously 114 by 120 on the top. And it's actually pretty easy to get into as well, with 4 screws on the bottom, and a bit of silicone to keep the SSD cool once you've installed it. Now you can see the AS Media controller just next to the USB 3.1 ports, as this is a third-party controller, it's not run off the CPU. In terms of installing the SSD, it is fairly easy. Remove the screw that's in the standoff and push the SSD, the M.2 SSD, into the slot at an angle and push it down. Similar with the RAM, you push those in at a slight angle and push them down until the clips lock them in place. Now this configuration is a 256GB SSD and 16GB of RAM. Also, this is the blower type fan that I was talking about. It's actually really quiet, which is pretty impressive considering you know, how small it is and such. It means that if you're using this as an HTPC, for example, it's actually a very pleasant experience, and means that you're not going to be interrupted by the PC noise at all while you know, watching movies or whatever. The fact that you can mount this to your TV or just have it as part of your sort of set-top box arrangement is actually really nice, and means that as an HTPC it's pretty awesome, but obviously this can be used as an office PC as well, as it's probably as powerful as the majority of kind of work laptops you've probably seen, and yeah, it can be mounted behind a monitor as well, which means it's nice and compact. Now I actually quite like this Brix unit. It's actually pretty awesome. The amount of power you get in the size, the small footprint, and the fact that you can mount it on the back of the monitor and kind of forget that it's there is pretty cool. It's also really quiet. It's a great HTPC or an office machine, so if you already have a laptop or something, or maybe even a desktop at your office, you could replace that with this, and it's pretty small, pretty tiny, fits in the back of the monitor, and it's basically invisible, so that's really cool. But the main thing I want to mention though is that these come in bare bones units. You can buy them from other distributors and stuff with the stuff installed, but these generally come as bare bones units, and that is something to factor in, especially in terms of cost and general expertise. If you need any kind of support on, you know, what type of RAM or SSD to get, or you know, what fits your budget best, then feel free to leave that in the comments down below. But nonetheless, it may put some people off. And also, as I said, the cost is a factor, being relatively expensive just for being a PC that doesn't do all that much, in the sense of, you know, it's not a gaming PC, but it's not, you know, the cheapest thing in the world, so it's kind of in between. And also the price that you'll see if you go look this up will be the bare bones price, not the price with the RAM and the SSD already, so you need to factor those in as well, which can obviously add up depending on what spec you go for. But nonetheless, as I said, it is a really nice little box. In terms of scoring, I'm going to go for I think 4 for 5 money. In terms of performance, I'll go for a 4 as well. It's really good, especially for the size, but the price is a bit of a premium, so that kind of changes how that works. Functionality, I'm going to have to give a 5 because of the USB Type-C ports, the size, the noise that didn't come out of it, the fact that it doesn't have glossy plastic like the last one, and yeah, in terms of style, I'm going to have to go for a 5 as well. In TechteamGB score, I'm actually really impressed with it, so besides the price, I'm going to have to go for a 5 here, and I'm going to go for for a gold award as well, because it is a really nice little box, and if you are an office user or if you need an HTPC, this thing is actually really cool and I do recommend it a lot. Same with the MSI QB type ones, although I've had a few issues with those, so yeah, whatever. But nonetheless, these types of PCs are really cool. It's kind of nice to see a lot of performance relatively in a small box with a decent amount of I/O. So yeah, I guess that's kind of it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got any questions, feel free to leave that in the comments down below, and like and dislike depending on what you thought of it. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and if you're picking up this or anything else, it could be a garden shed or, you know, your marital aids, then yeah, feel free to use my Amazon affiliate link. It would genuinely help me out, and genuinely is helping me keep these videos going on the regular Monday, Wednesday, Friday business. So if you could do that, that would be really awesome. Again, not asking you to spend any more money. I mean, if you did want to spend money, then you can check out Vessel. You can watch these videos 7 days early. And yeah, other than that, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.